Okay, we're back for another uh-oh, not working. Not YouTube. This is High Value English. The review number 25. Already 25 videos done. I think 17 more. And this is for my lesson number 25 about how versus how. So, yes, how has two different usages that are pretty different. And yeah, so this is my video to tackle the difference between them. But I'm not going to go into the full lesson. That's down in the description, the more lesson video. This is just the review of 5 or so exercise questions in the PDF workbook that I've made for my students. So let's do it. This is exercise A. Number 1 says, it says blah blah. Do you study English? My teacher says 15 minutes a day is good enough, but is that true? So let's see. So we know this lesson is about how versus how. And let's move this down a little bit. So yeah, we know probably the first word is going to be how. Okay. So now the hint is here in the second part, 15 minutes a day. So that's a unit of time, 15 minutes every day. So you could say, well, this is more about the level, right? Not the method or the way. So that's what this hints at. Remember, it's how can be the method or the way, but those are like how do you study? Now, so this second part doesn't quite match this how do you study. This is talking about the time. So the other how is the level or the quantity, you could say. So in this case, we're talking about time. So I think the word here is going to be how much do you study? All right, that's what I would say. How much you study English? Yeah, you go. Or actually, another one. Another one. So 15 minutes a day. You could say another version. The frequency. Right. So you could also say often. Okay. So how much, how often? I think those are the two types. Yep. I'm gonna get this cat out of here. Okay, so that's the answer there. Let's go to number 2. Do you have time to show me blah blah to blah blah an email? I'm sorry, I'm not good with computers. Okay, so do you have time to show me blah blah to blah blah an email? Not good with computers. So this one, yeah, sounds more like the method. I want to know the method. We'll say how. So before it says do, how do, that's the, question mode. So how to do an email, that, yeah, that, I mean, now the pattern is correct, but the verb do is not really normal. You could say write an email. How to write an email. Someone who has no idea how to use a computer, maybe, or how to send an email. How to Other verbs to do with email. How to forward an email. I don't know. How to print. I don't know. So yeah, all different verbs that, are connected to email. Print, how to print, how to save. Yeah, all different ones. So this is the method or the way. Number 3. I've asked blah blah the concert tickets are because I don't want to spend a lot of money. Okay, I've asked blah blah the concert tickets are because I don't want to spend. So yeah, this again sounds like the level, the price, how expensive, how cheap. And the answer here is going to be just I've asked how much the concert tickets are. Why? Because I don't want to spend a lot of money. So yeah, that's the special case with money, is that the question how much, this really means all uncountable nouns. How much time, how much coffee, how much, rice or soup. But I think back in time, every day, the typical human, shopping, buying, spending money, if you say how much, it means money. That became the default word. So that's what this one is. How much money? Because that was maybe the most common question. Okay, let's go to number 4. Wow, you're going to travel across Europe for 6 months. Blah, blah. You go from country to country by bus or by plane. Oh, so this is a little bit tricky one. So the first sentence, wow, you're going to travel across Europe for 6 months. Blah, blah, you go from country to country. So we can know here how. Now you might think, how do you go from country to country, by bus or by plane? So yeah, by bus or by train, that sounds like the method of travel. But yeah, it's not going to be how do, because remember, do in the present tense means your normal or typical way. But yeah, this sounds like a special case. So this is not normal, not typical. It's also not now. So the answer is how will you go? How will you go? How? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's about it. Last one. Number 5. I'm so sorry for hurting you. Blah, blah. I make it up to you. That's a kind of interesting verb, to make up for. To make up for. So this means what? To repair or, fix a costly mistake. So, for example, something like, oh, I lost your jacket, but don't worry. I'll make it up to you by replacing it. Yeah, so it just means I'll do something to make you feel better. I'll do something. to make you feel better. That's kind of what it means. So sorry for hurting you. Blah, blah. I make it up to you. So the word, yeah, how? So we want to know the method. How, what's the way to make you feel better? So how do I make it up to you? Yeah, that works. I would say the most natural one though is how can. That's what I would say. Okay. What is the possible way? How do I make it up to you? How can I? Or you could say, how should? I guess, how should I? You could say that. Yeah, the most common one is can. Okay. And then the final question, exercise B, is just, how are you? Now this is I teach my students, yeah, it is strange. How are you? But always the answer is, good or great or, fine, right? So that's a level of goodness. So I think, and this is just my theory, in the old days, it was, how good are you? Right? You're good. How good? Good, very good, so, bad. And then it just became, we don't have to say it. Just became, how are you? How are you? And they just cut it out. So, I mean, that's how I explain it. I don't know if it's true. It seems to match the pattern. So let's see, like, I'm doing very well. I just got a new job. Let's see, I just started a new job 6 weeks ago, and all my colleagues and clients are very friendly. Yeah. So, yeah, how good are you? Oh, very well. Doing very well. For example, job, friendly people. All right. So that's it. Okay, good. Just about 13 minutes. So, yeah, notice how all these example sentences had I think they all had two sentences. They, part one references part two, or part two references part one. So yeah, we're really, these are words that, and phrases that need greater context, more, deeper circumstances, or, more complexity. Anyway, I always recommend put your original sentences and examples in the comments, and I'll help you out there. And I'll see you in the next video.